a depraved tyrant, a degraded autocrat, degenerately self-indulgent bully, that was Nero Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, infamously hailed as Nero, the emperor who ruled the Roman Empire from AD 54 to AD 68. Nero's reign was riddled with controversies and contentions, but the most infamous incident happened on the night of the 18th of July 64, when a fire broke out in the southeastern part of the city. Rome had always been vulnerable to fires, but this time, in the lap of an unruly wind, the fire grew reckless and rebellious, and the flames fanned through the densely populated and tightly packed wooden structures in Rome. It says the fire burned for 3 months. The flames annihilated 3 of Rome's 14 districts and severely crumbled and crippled 7 more. Historians of the time claimed that Nero was the mastermind behind the fire. Some historical accounts even says that Nero burned one part of Rome to make space for this palatial golden house, a private, personal, lush landscape, and a 30-meter-tall statue of himself named the Colossus of Nero. In fact, it was from this account that the most famous legend regarding Nero birthed. Nero played the fiddle while Rome burned. This legend of Nero has been too widely accepted that this has become the lasting relic of his life. So much so that it's used even in movies and books and even social media memes. But what's the reality? Did he actually perform a musical dance note while Rome was burning? Or was he trying to relax while watching his people charred to nothingness? Or was he just playing original soundtrack for the fire? Motivated by politics, historians were too keen on cursing Nero for the fire. In fact, they fabricated legends after legends telling how Nero planned this entire thing. Citizens of Rome, devastated and depressed by the events, were more than willing to believe whatever the historians churned out. But the truth is, at least the truth everyone forced themselves to forget, was that Nero was in Antium when the fire began, and he returned to Rome at the knowledge of the fire and started relief effort. Nero welcomed the homeless to stay in the palace and palace ground. He gathered and supplied food across the regions to prevent starvation. Even before the land was rebuilt, Nero accused Christians of starting the fire. He arrested them and brutally executed them. Some were thrown to the beast, others were crucified, and whoever left were fed to flames. Soon, he rebuilt the houses across the burned land. Under his command, they used bricks to build the houses, making it fireproof. He made sure to space them out so that such a catastrophe won't repeat again, and he even built a palace complex in its heart. But all these were left in the lurch, leaving the relic of Nero to be a glorified musical genius who played a fiddle while Rome was screaming under the embers of a vile, vengeful flame. There is no 2 cents in accepting the reality of Nero. Nero had enemies in every direction, and is forever remembered as one of the most ruthless and fiendish leaders. But why was this legend so easy for people to accept, even when evidences suggested otherwise? Why was every single thing he did as an aid for his mourning land was left unattended and neglected? Why were the historians too keen on nailing the transgression onto Nero's head? This process of our mind in fooling us to judge something foolishly is called Horne's effect or devil's effect. What it does to our mind is that if we've perceived someone in a negative way in one area, our mind casts the same shadow of negativeness to doubt that person in all the aspects of the life. To be more literal, you see a set of horns he has in one moment, and you assume the existence of those horns in everything he does. But did you know that being a good judge of character used to be a virtue rather than a vice? But today, judging is not cool. Why? Because the issue happens when you don't evolve your judgment. Issue arises when you create a wall with that judgment and wall yourself in. This will make you short-sighted and shall give your mind the authority to dictate you and fool you. Does that mean you should stop judging? No. Judge. Judge again. Judge more. In fact, judge from all sides. Judge right and left. Judge right and wrong. But don't arrive at quick conclusions. Keep your judgments in the corner of your mind and then watch the world. See if everything fits your judgment. See if your judgment makes sense. See if you were misled or valid. And now, after learning whether you went wrong or not, then amend your judgment. Amend it along with your thought process. Amend it until your mind bends to your will and judge again. See how far you are right this time. and do it until almost all your judgments are picture perfect. All it takes is an open mind.